August 26, 2020. Yeah, so I was talking to my brother who was planning to do class this evening live, so welcome Rich if you're here. I'm glad you're here. And I was telling him how I kind of started this week of yoga with kind of a cynical attitude, which, you know, I'm prone to have at points. And so I've kind of changed the name of the class throughout the week as I've started to feel less cynical and more inspired by the practice and the world around me. So today it's Backbends and bananas. Bananas because I think they help you when you have sore and cramped muscles, right? They're like keep you from cramping up. And I know I'm sore after 2 days of backbending, but I'm also primed to do some more backbending today. So the best time to do backbends is when you're sick of doing backbends. So let's do some more backbends. I also wanted to comment on how much I love the mushrooms that are everywhere right now in Athens, or at least in my neighborhood. I just went on a walk and I was really amazed and delighted by the number of mushrooms all over the place. I wanted to say that I don't like August that much. I don't have a lot of expectation for good weather or enjoyable outdoor times in August, but this August has surprised me. I mean, all this rain we've been having in Athens has really brought out all these mushrooms unexpectedly. Like I've lived in this house for 7 or 8 years now, and I've never seen so many mushrooms. It's cool. It's cool, guys. Okay, let's do some yoga. If you have not already, set up your mat. And we will start in a seated position. So you can choose from a number of seated positions. I'm going to take a pose called Siddhasana, and you can see how I'm doing that. I started doing this pose this week because I'm sitting on more padding. So it gives me more space to bring one heel right up to the center of my pelvis here, and then bring the second heel right in front. So try that if you have some height to put underneath your hips. If not, you can cross your legs at the ankles, or even sit in rock pose or lotus if that's comfortable for you. Get in a shape that feels like you have this ability to connect with the earth, but also this ability to grow tall. Close your eyes once you've found your seat. Find a place to rest your hands. And arrive. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Let sensation draw your awareness to different parts of the physical being. And as you move your awareness into these different areas of the body, consider sending breath, sending prana through those spaces, unblocking blockages. Become aware of those spaces where your body is touching the surfaces beneath you. Consider the energetic exchange between your body and the earth happening at this moment. The weight of your body pushing downward, the earth pushing back to keep you from falling to the center of the earth. Imagine roots growing down from your lower body into the earth, signifying that energetic connection. Your body reaching downward, the earth pushing into you as you grow tall. Lengthen along your spine. Lengthen along the sides of the body by shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears and lifting into your armpits. Keep the sides of your body long and loop your shoulder blades together behind your heart, creating a contraction of the upper back muscles as the chest broadens and lifts. Now, keeping the armpits lifted, the chest broad, allow the forearms to melt down the back side of the chest as you weigh the arms towards the earth. So we will be bringing considerable attention to the region of the heart space and the upper back as we move into a back bending practice today. Consider with this attention to the upper back if your head is tilted back. So for now, we want the back of the neck to lengthen, the crown of the head to lift towards the ceiling, bringing the chin down parallel to the floor. Create awareness and tone in your upper abdomen by drawing your left and right front lower ribs into a central point and then easing that point subtly towards your spine. Creating more length through the lower back. Having made this effort to create a tall spine, a broad chest, now begin to deepen and slow down your breathing as you direct breath in and out through the nostrils. Transition into Ujjayi Pranayama by drawing in a gentle contraction at the back of the throat. And let the aspirant sound of your breath act as a soundtrack to this breath meditation, drawing your senses to the present and to this exchange between the air inside the body and the air outside of the body. Okay, challenge for today. Can you follow your breath through, let's go 10 rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama. So to keep my mind focused on the breath and how many I've done, I'm just going to use my fingers. So that might work for you, might not. So let's begin 10 rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama. realize the time it takes each of us to do this may vary widely, depending on what time of day you're practicing, just depending on the capacity of your lungs at this particular moment. So if you're still going, keep going. Another few moments. You can continue to breathe in the Ujjayi Pranayama if you've already completed your 10 rounds, and consider that challenge. How was it challenging? In what way was it challenging? Or did you find it very easy to do? Okay, let's begin our chanting. So bring the palms together in front of the heart. Press your palms in, widen your elbows out, broaden the collarbones. We'll chant Om 3 times before beginning the moving practice, and consider that we're going to elongate this sound. So it's consider this as an Om spelled A-U-M, and the vibratory quality of the sound moves from the pelvic floor up to the back of the throat. Exhale, empty the lungs, and inhale for Om. Draw your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. And we'll remain seated for a twist. You might switch the cross of your legs or put the opposite ankle on top. Bring your left hand behind the hip, right hand crosses the left thigh. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale, begin to revolve. Right to left, bottom to top, inside to outside. Infuse the pose with breath. Allow the pose to grow and change over time and attention. Keep the right hand where it is. Extend the left arm up along the left ear. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, lean the upper body at an angle over the right thigh. Creating a lateral bend along the left side body. And with the hand on the left thigh, draw the right shoulder forward. Take the gaze up beyond the left tricep muscles towards the ceiling. Ground through the left outer hip. Reach through the left fingertips. Notice tension in the face. So what might your face be telling you about your experience of this pose, of this moment? By softening the face, is it possible to soften into this shape, soften into this moment, accept exactly where you are in this pose on your mat today. Breathe along the left side body. Inhale, come back up to center, and right hand comes behind. Left hand crosses to the right thigh. Inhale to grow tall, and exhale, begin to revolve. Left to right, inside, outside, bottom to top, stay broad across the chest. Eventually bring the neck and head into the equation, taking the gaze back or even over the right shoulder. Collarbones stay broad, and breathe length and awareness along the spine, especially into the region of the upper back, as that is a primary focus of our practice today. Keep the left hand as it is, right arm reaches, lift up out of the right waistline, stay grounded through the right hip, and then exhale, lean the upper body at an angle over the left thigh. Use the left hand to draw the left shoulder forward, look up, right hip down, right arm reaches, again, note the face. Take note, choose to soften into this moment, soften into the face, breathe along the right side. So first, extending the sides of the body. So we're trying to create length along the spine and the sides of the body for our back bending practice. Inhale back to center, release the right hand down, and we'll come into a wide-legged child's pose. So take your knees as wide as your mat, bring your big toes to touch behind you, sink your hips back towards your heels. Keep your hips rooting down, tailbone tuck, start to walk your upper body forward. Spread your fingers, broaden your palms, press your fingerprints down into the mat, ground through your knuckles. Try to lift the wrists away from the floor. So the hands aren't bearing too much weight right now, but when the hands do start to bear weight, we're going to focus on trying to keep that weight from dumping into the wrists. Wrap your tricep muscles towards your face to broaden the upper back. While you attempt to lift the outer armpits away from the floor, contracting the muscles of the upper back, drawing the shoulder blades closer together. So that recognize this activation of the upper body as we'll utilize this again in puppy dog pose and downward facing dog. Keep the legs and hips as they are. Start to walk the upper body at an angle towards the left. So keep the right hip tacked back and down, and then take the left hand, bend the left elbow, bring the left palm to the floor, push the palm forward and down to revolve the right outer ribs towards the floor, again lengthening along the right side body. So as the hip reaches back and down towards the heel, the fingertips reach out, creating space along the right side. Down through the waistline, the outer ribs. Let the sensation of the shape bring your awareness to the right side, and then focus breath there. Walk through center and over to the left. Tack back with the left hip, reach out with the left fingertips, right hand on the floor, pushes down and forward. Revolve the left outer ribs more deeply towards the mat. Focus the gaze along the left side. And notice the pose, breathe. As you inhale, there's this space brought into the body. As you exhale, possibly the opportunity to expand into the space you've created. Come back through center and push up into a tabletop position. Knees are hip width distance, wrists are below the shoulders. Again, root through the fingerprints and the knuckles to shift weight out of the wrists. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze lift into cow pose. And then exhale, round the spine. Chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling. Push the earth away, dome the upper back, cat pose. And continue through these two shapes with the pace of your own breath. Inhale brings you to cow. Exhale to cat, or if you'd like to experiment with the opposite synchronization of breath, feel free to do so today or any day, you know. Make the practice your own. The practice can be an exploration. It can be an opportunity to express what you're feeling in your body. . Okay, back to a neutral spine, and we'll briefly take a modified twisted child. Take your knees a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Thread the left arm between the knees, reaching back for the right ankle, calf, or heel. Left side of the head grounds down, and then from here, you might not want to do much. This might be plenty in this just grabbing the ankle. But if you want to intensify the sensations here, you might push the knees down into the floor and try to shift the hips over to the left. You might push the right hand down and start to look up beyond the right armpit towards the ceiling. Again, infuse the pose with breath. Inhale, like filling up a sponge. Exhale, wring out the sponge as you pull your belly button in towards your spine, promoting circulation through the internal organs, kind of promoting, that's kind of what I just said. Keep breathing. And back through center. Left hand back to where it was, right hand threads, grabs the left ankle, calf, or heel. Right side of the head, back of the right shoulder, land on the floor, press the knees down, shift the hips to the right, press the left hand down, possibly look up under the left armpit. And again, infuse the pose with breath, metaphor of a sponge filling as your lungs fill. And then as you empty the lungs, the sponge wrings out, pushing every drop of air out through the bottom of your lungs, out from the bottom of your lungs. And inhale to come back through center. Walk your knees back 6 to 8 inches, tuck the toes under, and tilt your tailbone towards the ceiling like you're doing cow pose in the low back. Either walk the hands forward, spreading the fingers and palms, or grab the outer edges of your mat as I am demonstrating. Push the outer edges of your mat forward, away from your body, as you tilt your tailbone up and widen your inner upper thighs back and apart. Get this sense of broadening through the back side of the pelvis. And here, let's connect with the strong contraction of the upper back muscles as the shoulder blades hug together behind the heart. The heart is melting, surrendering towards the floor. Just as I cued in our wide-legged child pose, wrap your tricep muscles towards your face as you attempt to lift your outer armpits away from the floor. Chin and chest sink down towards the earth. And now let's push into a downward facing dog position. As is customary, you might like to walk out your dog as you arrive, bending one knee, reaching the opposite heel towards or to the floor, checking out the backs of each leg in turn. If one leg feels tighter or shorter than the other, give that leg a little extra attention. It's telling you it needs it. Listen to your body. Respond accordingly. Okay, so from here today, we're going to focus again on the upper back. So fingers and palms spread, root through the fingerprints, ground through the knuckles, especially the insides of the hands, the base of the index finger and thumb. Now, wrap your tricep muscles towards your face, lift your outer armpits away from the floor, keep your knees bent as much as you need to, and then look forward. So I love this looking forward in down dog to create an even stronger connection with the upper back in this pose. So look forward, press the hands down and forward, reach the hips up and back, and then release the head down. So what also happens here is I get my lower ribs sway down. So again, just like we did in our seated pose, try to spend a little bit of attention toning the upper abdomen by drawing the low ribs in and back, lengthening through the low spine as you spiral the inner thighs back and apart, push the hips up and back, lengthen along the whole back side of the body, and then look forward between the hands. Shift the shoulders forward so more weight is in the hands. distribute that weight through the knuckles. Lift up onto your toes, bend your knees, drop through the sides of the waistline, look to the top of your mat. Exhale all your breath. Lift your hips high into the air and land your feet at the top of your mat. Forward fold. Okay, let's do that. For time's sake, let's just do that 2 more times. Okay, hop or step back, bend the knees, drop through the sides of the waistline, look forward, shift forward, exhale, arrive at the top of your mat, forward fold. 1 more time, hop or step back, bend the knees, lift through the sides of the waistline, shift the shoulders forward, ground through the knuckles, exhale, hop to the top of your mat. Place your feet hip width distance apart, lift and spread your toes, fold forward, head low, hips high. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, shoulder blades on the back, halfway lift. And exhale, fold deeply in, fingertips to the block or to a block or the floor in front of you. Inhale to rise up to stand. Arms reach overhead, palms touch as you look up. Exhale, hands come through heart center and find your way into Tadasana. Become the mountain. Roll your shoulders back so your heart space is open and broad. Strength and vulnerability, all in one pose. Connect with the breath. We're going to move through 4 variations of sun salutation A. Inhale, float the arms overhead, look up. Exhale, flow forward. Fingertips to the floor in front of you, release your head. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in, plant the hands, send the right leg back, lunge. Inhale in your lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, send the left leg back, plank position. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up into cobra pose or upward facing dog. And then exhale, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look forward, connect with the upper back. Exhale, release the head down, push the hips back. Last breath in. Bend the knees, lift through the sides of the waistline, look forward, shift forward, exhale. Arrive at the top of your mat in a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips lightly on the shins. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, rise up, push down, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, right leg back, lunge. Inhale in the lunge, expand the heart space. Exhale, plant the hands, arrive in plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, curl up. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths in. And out. In. And out. Last biggest breath in, bend the knees, lift through the sides of the waistline, look forward, shift the weight forward, exhale, empty the lungs. Arrive in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, fingertips lightly on the shins. Exhale and fold in. Inhale to rise, push down, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your side. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale as you fold, right leg back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, press back, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knees, inhale, look forward, shift the shoulders forward, exhale. Arrive at the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, fold in. Inhale to rise, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale as you fold, right leg back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, plank position. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, shift the hips back. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last biggest breath in. Bend the knees, lift the toes, look forward, exhale. Up to the top of your mat, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana. Find your breath. Okay, we're gonna do more lateral bending. And I invite you to either keep your feet apart, and if you do so, bring a block between your inner thighs. Otherwise, bring the base of the big toes to touch. Again, stand down, lift and spread your toes, place them back down, create a broad base between your feet and the earth. So that's your anchor. You're pushing into the floor, creating that energetic connection. And then as you push into the earth, you draw up through the legs as though pulling up tight stockings, kneecaps in and up. Lift along the front of the pelvis, lengthen down through the tailbone. Inhale to sweep your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, cross your thumbs, point your index fingers to the sky, grow tall. Exhale, lean the upper body at an angle towards the left, keeping the hips and chest squared forward. If you happen to be practicing in front of a monitor or a mirror, this can be helpful to keep your hips and chest squared forward. If not, likely just draw your left shoulder slightly forward and your right hip slightly forward to keep everything squared. If this is painful for the low back, you can bring support to the low spine by pushing the left hand down onto the hip. Otherwise, keep your fingers interlaced and use your left arm to draw your right side body long as you root down through the right foot. Take your gaze up beyond the right tricep muscles. Again, notice what your face is telling you about your experience of this moment. Soften your face, soften into the present moment. Breathe prana, vital energy along the right side of the body. Hips shift gently to the right, reach to the left. Keep breathing. And inhale, come back through center. Switch the interlace of your fingers. Grow tall. Exhale, upper body leans right, hips shift left. Draw the right shoulder slightly forward, maybe the left hip slightly forward. Engage the legs, lift the kneecaps, push through the heels. Use the right arm to pull the left side body longer or bring the right hand to the hip for support of the low back. Look up beyond the left tricep muscles. Maybe soften the face. Awareness along the left side. Where are you feeling? What are you feeling? Bring attention and breath to those spaces. Inhale to come back up, and exhale, release the arms down. Shoulder rolls forward, shoulder rolls back, and we'll do our first standing back bend. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me better. So either feet together or hugging the block. Again, create that connection between your body and the floor. Consciously root down. Pull energy up the legs, lift into the front of the torso, lengthen down through the tailbone. That is your foundation. Now, in the upper body, for this first one, we're going to cup the back of the head with the interlaced fingers. So interlacing the fingers using the thumb at the base of the skull. I'm going to widen my elbows out to either side of the room and then hug the shoulder blades together behind the heart. First, we're just going to tilt the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to focus breath and attention in the heart space. So as you inhale, you might picture the heart space, the chest expanding like the skin of a helium balloon. And then as you exhale, let the heart float skyward. Keep with that. Look along the ceiling, look towards the wall, lean the head back into the support of the hands. Keep the feet pressing down, legs engaged. Look back, curl back, and move into the unknown. Into the unknown. Okay, keep going. I hope my singing is inspiring you to keep going. What's back there? And then ribs forward, chest forward, arms forward, head comes up last. Release the arms. Let's do some shoulder rolls forward. I was just thinking it would be really fun if just something really cute and surprising was happening behind you when you did a back bend. Like, you know, a puppy and a kitten cuddling. Okay, picture that as you go back. Pretend that that's going to happen if you get into this back bend. Okay, so there's going to be options for the second one. So you can do the same back bend that we've just done. This is a great option for keeping the back of the neck long, keeping the weight of the head supported. So you can do that one. If you want more strength to get the shoulder blades on the back, you can interlace the fingers behind you. If you want less support but maybe more depth, you can follow me in taking the arms overhead and taking that same interlace of the fingers that we had in our crescent shape. Reach up out of the waistline, grow tall, push down through your feet, and then tilt the gaze up. Again, focus, attention in the heart space. Inhale, expand, exhale, float the heart. Look up, look back, reach back, go back into the unknown. Okay, oh, do you see that kitten and that puppy cuddling? Isn't that so cute? Don't you just want to stay here forever? Okay, chest, ribs, arms, head. Oh, roll those shoulders forward. And roll them back. Okay, I love back bends. I'm just going to be honest with you. I love seeing that puppy and that kitten cuddling behind me. It's just the best part of my day. Okay, see, I'm getting giddy from my back bends. I hope you are too. We're going to go over here and pick up our invisible hula hoop. So put your invisible hula hoop on and then give it a spin. Soft knees, soft ankles, fluid movement. And then grab it, send it off in the other direction. Okay, stop it, lift it. Okay, I do not remember my discus throwing days, but imagine you're throwing a discus and, oh, darn it, I broke the mirror. Okay, okay, take your feet hip width distance apart and slowly, gingerly bring your fingertips to the floor or a block in front of you. Walk out your forward fold. Is your low back a little tender? Mine is. So just do this counter movement with some care, with some, care. I already said it. I don't need to say it again. Release the head down. You might walk the feet together if that's if that's available. Keep swaying the hips from side to side as you bend each knee. And then bend the knees forward, sink the hips onto the heels, and sit on your bottom. Okay. I'm going to request that you use some props here, but if you do not have the props, have no fear. You're just going to do bow pose as you're used to doing it. So I'm going to give these options for props if you have them. If you have 2 blankets, spread one out on your mat. If you have 1 blanket, do this other thing. This is the more important of the 2 things. So if you have a blanket, unroll it, unfold it as I've done, so it has still folded a little bit, but not folded in its, folded like this. And then I'm gonna roll the folded edge towards the fringe edge of the blanket. This could also be done if you have like a foam roller. You could use a foam roller here. You could get creative with substitutions. If you have just something lying around in your house that's jelly roll shaped, then get that thing out. Here's its chance to be useful. We're going to do 2 bow poses. The first, we're going to put the jelly roll across the top of the thigh. So I'm going to lie forward, and if you are practicing and you are pregnant, this is probably something you don't want to even mess with. So take some additional bridge poses here if you want to do some back bending. If you are not pregnant, come down onto your belly, either with or without the blankets. So if you have the jelly roll, it's going to be just at the top, traversing the top of the thighs. Then bend your knees and flex your feet. Reach back for the outside of the left ankle. If you can grab that, reach back for the outside of the right ankle. If you can not grab the right ankle, just do the left ankle, and then you'll do the right ankle and keep the blanket roll as it is for the second side. Okay, so if you have the ankle or ankles, make sure the knees are pointing straight back from the hips and ankles are the same width as the hips. Keep the feet flexed and then start to power up the pose with the legs. Kicking the ankles into the hands, lifting the thighs, lengthen the tailbone back, and then just lift the shoulders onto the back of the chest as the arms are pulled back. So in this iteration of the pose, using the blanket roll as it is, you can really focus more on the lower body. So the lower body is certainly more lifted in the pose. So it's like you're more towards the solar plexus than the belly or the pelvis. Kick and lift, use those legs, kick those legs, put your feet print on the ceiling, and then release. You might keep the blanket roll where it is if that feels okay, or move it if it doesn't. Right cheek to the floor, head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad. Arrive with your breath, bringing you back into this moment. Okay, turn to the floor, move the blanket roll if you have it, and this time it's going to come uncomfortably right above your pelvis. So it's going to be squishing into your stomach. Bend the knees, reach back for the ankles. So if you just grab the left ankle on the first time, grab the right ankle and keep the jelly roll where it was. Otherwise, grab both ankles. Tone the ankles and knees so they're hip width distance. Kick back with the ankles, and now this time your thighs are likely closer to the floor, if not on the floor. So again, use the strength of the legs to pull the arms back, this time lifting the chest high into the air, focusing on the expansion and expression of your heart space, sides and neck back, crown of the head lifts. And slowly lower down. Probably want to move that jelly roll as you come down to lie on your belly. Arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart. Head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad. Deepen your breath. Okay, chin back to the floor, tuck your toes. Gently send your hips back towards your heels, walking your hands back gradually. Again, little counter pose, but not too extreme here. And then walk your way to seated, and we will continue our back bend extravaganza. So, going through this pretty quickly, but definitely getting some work, upper back workout. If you don't feel it now, I would suspect that you might feel it tomorrow. Unless you're doing this just all the time, then you're used to it. Okay, so bring your mat to an uninterrupted wall space. And if you have blocks, they're great for wheel pose, which we are going to move into soon. So if you have two blocks, please utilize them by leaning them up against the wall. If you do not have two blocks, don't worry, there will be other options. But if you do have two blocks, this is a cool option. Okay, so turn around so that your head is facing the wall, lie on your back, and we're gonna start with a bridge pose. Feet are parallel, heels walk in towards the hips. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, interlace your fingers behind your back. Tuck your shoulder blades one at a time, maybe once, maybe twice each, or keep going until you feel the vertebra of the upper back lifting away from the floor. So much like shoulder stand, the vertebra of the upper back and the neck are off of the floor, not weight bearing in this pose. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, bring the chest towards the chin, lengthen the chin towards the chest, keeping the back of the neck long. Look down the front line of your body. And as I have recently been commenting, if you can identify a shorter or lower side of the pose in your body, can you direct breath to the corresponding lung of that shorter side? That might seem impossible, but keep sending the message, and maybe someday that neural pathway will make a connection between the mind and directing breath to one lung in particular. When you're ready, lower the hips, unlace the fingers, untuck the shoulders, take the feet as wide as the mat, let the knees fall together. Lengthen the back of the neck if you'd like. Bring hands onto the body, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart as you reconnect with breath. With these hands, you can collect some data. Where is the breath going? Where is it not going? Where might you choose to direct it with more attention? Okay, so I am going to offer the instruction of wheel pose. I'm going to offer the instruction of wheel pose with the blocks. You can do all these same things with the hands on the floor. The reason I really promote the use of the blocks is to help get us more into the upper back in this back bending shape. Get the curvature of the upper back involved, not just the not just the lower back. So also this will help the wrists from going into a acute angle where it is weight bearing. So if you have the blocks, use them. If not, you could try the bridge pose again, or you can see where your wheel's at today without the blocks. Heels in towards the hips, head between the blocks, hands on the blocks, fingertips pointing down towards the shoulders, elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. Now push your feet down, lift your hips up, and come to the top of your head. Roll towards the bridge of your nose as you walk the heart space closer to the wall, feet hip width distance apart, elbows in towards the armpits, and then strongly, 1, 2, 3, everyone together, push the arms straight. Chest towards the wall, gaze between the hands. Inner feet ground, outer hips lift, lengthen through the tailbone, and breathe. Be in this shape, be in this space. Check out those wrists. Breathe 3 breaths here. Chin to chest. When you're ready, come on down. Land your back body on the floor. Hands onto the belly and to the heart. Feet apart. Your knees fall towards one another or together. Okay, I'll briefly demo the next thing I'm offering you. So if you want to look up, please do. If you're not interested in any more backbends, then you don't have to watch. Okay, so I'm going to do just as I did a moment ago. Come up onto my head, roll towards the bridge of my nose, push up into wheel pose with my hands on the blocks, and then look at the wall. Hand to the wall, climb on up, walk up, stand up. Adjust my feet because they were too wide. Hands in my back pockets, ground my legs down, lift my heart up, look back, curl back, hands walk down, reverse order. Okay, try it or don't. These are drop backs. You can move away from the wall. Very invigorating, very challenging. So if you're walking up the wall, try to focus on the grounding of your feet, which is a difficult thing to do when you're in a back bend, because you can't see your feet. Okay, do it a couple times. Try something new. Walk around. Try to do a circle. That's always funny. Trying to walk around in a circle in a wheel pose. Okay. Pause the stream if you want to do 20 more of those. Otherwise, join me in bringing a hand to the belly, hand to the heart, eyes soft or close to the ceiling. Return to this moment and consider that you might be having some internal dialogue about what you just did, and notice the tendency for evaluation. And, see if you can kind of let go of that. See if you can kind of detach from your expectation or what the outcome of that practice was, and arrive with this moment. Again, with the breath and with the resonant energy of what you have done. The practice thus far has led you to this moment. Don't miss it. Okay, we're going to start to wind down. So I'm going to move my mat away from the wall. If you feel comfortable at the wall, stay there. Take your arms out wide. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Bend your knees and release the knees to the left. You might choose to stay like this, or if you'd like, hook the left ankle to the outside of the right thigh, using the weight of the left leg to pull the right inner thigh downward, getting length across the front of the right hip. Try to soften the abdomen. If you have the space overhead, you might extend the right arm along the right ear. Grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand and gently pull the right wrist, creating this length from the right wrist to the right knee. Release the wrist, uncross the ankle, bring the knees back to center, take the arms out, and then release the knees to the right. Flex the right foot if you did it on the first side, and hook the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh. If you have the space overhead, extend the left arm along the left ear, grab the left wrist. Again, breathe the shape, arrive in the moment. Unhook, ungrasp, re-square, and this next pose is just something I discovered for myself. You might have done it before, I don't recall having done it in a yoga class, but it's very similar to thread the needle or figure four pose, like this pose. So if this pose doesn't work out for you, you can do the figure four pose. So what my invitation here is to let the right knee widen out to the right, so the right leg just comes into the shape of like a cross-legged seated leg. So the right leg is like that, and then the left leg comes over the right leg so that you land the left foot on the floor where the ankle is touching the top of the right knee, the lower right thigh. So for me, this shape really helps to open the left outer hip and lengthen the low spine. If this shape doesn't do that for you, here's some options to deepen it. You might reach down and grab the left ankle with the right hand. So if this still isn't doing it for you, try the figure four shape instead. Release the ankle, uncross the legs. Then we'll do that on the second side. Let the left knee fall out to the left as though you're preparing the left leg for a cross-legged seated position. And then take the right leg up and over the left leg so that the right foot lands on the floor and the ankle is at the top, the lower left thigh. And then again, choose to stay here, or if you need more depth, you can grab the ankle with the left hand. If it's just not working out for you, again, take the figure four pose. Release, uncross, re-square the hips, draw the knees in towards the chest, then push the knees into cupped hands, rock the hips from side to side, rock the knees from side to side, massage the low back, and then draw the knees in and up towards the armpits, take hold of the outside edges of the feet, transition into happy baby, grabbing the outside edge of the feet and pulling down to one side and then the other. Inner feet together, interlace the fingers around the outer edges of the feet, widen the knees apart, coming to a reclined bound angle pose or reclined butterfly pose. Extend the back body along the floor, countering the movement of the arms. So we do a lot of arms pulling back. Here the arms are being pulled forward with the pressure of the feet into the hands. And finally, let's give ourselves a big hug. Knees together, wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs, grab wrists, forearms, or elbows, squeeze it in, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees, tailbone towards the heels. Draw in, draw in, draw in, like you're squeezing that cuddling kitten and puppy from before. And then let it go. Okay, what do we want to do today? Do you want to lie on your back for Savasana? Do you want to take legs up the wall in lieu of no inversion today so far? Find a comfortable pose. Often, I'm almost compelled to just go into a seated meditation for this time, because I often find that after a back bending practice, it's so energizing that it's kind of hard to close my eyes and rest my body. But I'm gonna take that challenge anyway. But decide for yourself and get yourself in a position that feels supportive and safe. Get your creature comforts, not the beer, but those things that make you feel relaxed. Maybe it's a pair of socks. Maybe it's a favorite hoodie. Make it happen, and invite yourself into this moment. Scan the physical body for any places of resistance, any residual action where you might be holding tension or, wanting to be active, wanting to be doing something. Send a message throughout the body that this is a time for rest and reflection. Pulling off the highway, taking some time at the scenic overlook. fingers and toes. Reanimate your body in whatever way feels appropriate. Eventually bend the knees. If you have if you have the legs extended, extend the right arm along, the left arm along the left ear. Roll onto your left side. Transition from corpse pose into a fetal position. Reconnect with breath. And push your way up to a seated position. Any seated position is appropriate for this time. Create a tall spine as you bring your palms together in front of your heart. We'll chant Om one single time to close the practice. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your dedication to the practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Please reach out to me with any questions, comments, concerns about this class or any other class. You can text me, call me, send me an email at athenspublic@gmail. What else did I want to say? If you would like to donate to this live stream or the podcast, you can go to my website. It's searchable at Athens, or just search Brownstone Yoga. It should be the first thing to come up. There's a donate button towards the top of the page. Donations will go in part to Rubber Soul or Revolution Yoga and Therapy Yoga Studio, and in part for the month of August to I believe it's a nonprofit, Fair Fight. So I'll let you know on Monday how much will be donated to each of those places, and and then we'll pick a new organization to donate to in September. September, next Tuesday is the first day of September. Okay, I think that's all I want to say. I will be changing the schedule for the second week of September, just because I don't know what online school is going to look like in our household, but I think for next week the schedule will stay the same, and I'll let you know next week how the schedule will be changing. I'll still be doing this class, so Wednesday evening should remain the same. So if this is your class, you're in luck. It's not going to change. Okay, awkward kiss off. I'll see you next time.